There's always different strategies that people take to file an application and ways that they're prepared. And I really love it when I see a case that's been really well done. And if there's anything I can offer, there are usually little things that could help down the road, long-term stuff that are bigger considerations, that kind of thing. But I also do see good cases come across my desk as well. So it's always nice to know how hard people are trying to do things right and get really good cases filed. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. You can put your questions in the chat and I'll do my best. I think I was just talking about some of the bigger issues that we see. So sometimes the victim statement isn't signed. Sometimes the forms are not properly signed. Sometimes there wasn't a report to law enforcement at all, and it didn't fit into one of the exceptions where people can avoid reporting in order to file the T visa. So there is a trauma exception and some other narrow exceptions for not reporting trafficking prior to filing. Very rare situations. So most of the cases I see that really have a problem are ones that don't fit the exception there. And then finally, one of the things that I am looking for with T visa filings is the criminal history disclosure. So those are really tough things sometimes for, especially if it's like a notario or a non-lawyer has filed an application, they almost always do not list immigration inadmissibility or criminal history correctly. Sometimes it's totally missing. Sometimes it's incorrectly described. And that can be a big issue because if you want to get a bona fide determination on your pending T visa case, you also want to make sure that immigration has what they need to be able to issue one. And the biggest thing is if you have failed to disclose certain criminal history or you have a major criminal history hasn't been addressed properly, then most likely that bona fide determination for the T visa case can't be issued. Now, oftentimes, again, when we're talking about cases that real lawyers file, very different. There might be like a traffic infraction or something small that there's some confusion or something got left out or they couldn't find like a DMV record or something like that. Those can be hard to get. So sometimes there's like little things, but more often what I'm seeing with non-lawyer notarios is the problem that they're not providing the history correctly at all. They just file whatever. I've seen it where they don't even put the applicant's name down correctly, sloppy birth certificate translations that only translate half of the document, stuff like that. So another thing that's come up in questions lately for people has been more just connected to the class action lawsuit and the protective order that came out back in May. So now it's been about 2 months since the court said ICE cannot be blind to people having victim cases pending, that they have to treat victims some level of respect and consideration, knowing that their applications typically are ones that need to be completed while they're inside of the United States. So the ICE cannot be blind thing has gone pretty well. We've had a lot of reports of ICE treating people more respectfully, declining to detain individuals who have pending victim cases, which is great.